But tell me, like, in your words, what do NFTs change about the Web2 platform that exists for hip hop artists?
To be completely honest, honestly, nothing other than the simple ability to have the availability of the blockchain technology to use to verify owners of your merchandise, digital merchandise, your digital assets. That process to me is the most valuable piece of anything that we could have gotten from Web3 right now that I'm looking at. Because Nipsey made a Nipsey did this, and it wasn't an NFT, and people don't get it, but, like, this motherfucker was sitting down having lunch with people who bought his shit for $100, like, because that was part of the utility. Like, so, like, it's not that utility can't be guaranteed unless you have an NFT. It's that it gives such a major advantage to the distributor of the digital asset in terms of how they can guarantee that that utility or whatever it is that they want to guarantee. Yeah, man, that's it. That's it for me.
So the king of utility here for his piece is telling me there's only one thing that is the difference in this scene, because the royalties came up a lot with Marshall yesterday. Is that just like a
But
community? Go ahead.
the royalties is the same thing. Like, I mean, it's not the same thing at all. Don't get me wrong. It's completely different. But like, I don't see royalties as the same thing in Web 2 and Web 3, right? Because we're not selling songs for less than a cent, like a tenth of a cent even. That would be ridiculous. We're selling art here. This is a different style of even what we're delivering or what we're distributing. Um, and in Web 2, the idea that they're trying to get us to sell it for listen for per listen and per play devalues it. It gives them ability to devalue it and pay us less for it because it makes them be able to say it's based on plays, right? If they only sold the songs at $1, we would probably make more money if they
I
gave
see.
us that option. But they don't. And there's a reason for that because it's designed to pay the platforms that distribute it than it is the artist.
And that is different now on platforms that exist in the NFT space. Like, are these native platforms
Well,
doing it any differently, or are they just the same thing
theoretically,
repackaged?
theoretically, when you're independent, you can control your percentages if you're truly independent, right? But the
Okay.
thing is that, like the royalties in terms of, like, a platform that you can set up and, like, say how much you're gonna get, like, custom, like, an NFT, like, OpenSea, for instance, collection, I don't see that anywhere else in Web 2, like, to be able even if you are independent, to set it up with a distributor that will do that, like and you can't because I don't think you could be on these platforms and collect more than what they will give you, right? So, like, that you're that's why the royalties are different. Like it's like the secondary royalties are not the same as mechanical royalties, aka streaming royalties.
Mm. You touched on like a price difference there, which I kind of followed up after Music Mondays. I've been learning a lot on Music Mondays, guys. I actually direct Louis' show on the network here. He brings in like artists all the time and they're doing like live performances. Louis was doing a live performance, but I've been soaking in some education there from that. And there was a conversation about like what a artist should price their stuff at. And it was a cool conversation to me because like we had Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park on the network at one point, and he actually did free. Now Mike Shinoda's Mike Shinoda, like he's gonna get exposure anyways, depending on whatever he was doing. But it created an interesting dynamic where there was no like cost basis for his people trying to buy an NFT. It was they got it for free, and then he's getting all the royalties afterwards. So it's like a win-win, most exposure, all this stuff. But it was just a cool conversation because I see both sides. I see max exposure, get my stuff out there, keep it cheap. And then I see what you and Natalie were talking about as well, where you're like, you're devaluing yourself. You know, you should value yourself more. So break down that conversation for those people at home.
Yeah, I mean the distribution thing for exposure is it's just it makes sense obviously why you would do it. But once I learned that you don't need to be viral in order to make real money, then I realized that distribution. See, like the whole thing with the distribution is going viral, right? Like getting millions of views and streams. And unless you're able to do that, you're not really going to be successful on Web 2. But if you can sell something for a little bit more value on Web 3, like I could and guaranteed more utilities, like some physical merch and some commercial rights with my Genesis collection, and found people who genuinely liked what I was doing. It was just more applicable because of the space. And also you gotta remember the people in the space like that, right? When I come in and I meet the standard or the necessarily threshold of like where they're like, "Oh, fuck, this guy is doing some shit," like, with all this NFT. Because like, you can't get my shit is full my shit, like, is bulletproof, like, my shit is fucking is right, like, the gated links, like, you're not getting into unlocked utility unless you get fucking the shit.
Mhm.
Like you own the NFT in your wallet. So yeah, so that once I learned that, that's what I realized. It's about providing people an experience. I started off with 10 people probably, chilling in Cypher, all of us together rapping. Then some of those people, I branch out with. My community is a sub community of Token Smart, Avastars. It definitely is. And as I've grown, it's become more than that. But that's my base community, and that's kind of where it's been at.